Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? I'm sitting here watching this Mike Tyson's career in full. It's on the Peter McNeely fight right now. They're interviewing Michael Spinks after the fight. A lot of people were upset. They just interviewed Ray Leonard. He said that this fight gave boxing a black eye. Seen this fight live when it happened, man. Just going back, watching his career. I like to do that with some fighters sometimes. Anyways, a lot of people, man, they've been asking me about this post-fight, about Terence Crawford. I did not want to do a post-fight to this, but people have been asking me, you know, my thoughts about it on videos that have nothing to do with Terence Crawford or Postol. They're coming to heavyweight videos asking me my opinion. Before I get into that, let me just go ahead and just rewind, man. The first video I did on Terence Crawford was, and I might leave a still shot of this because I like doing this to let people know sometimes, because sometimes guys get hot. What I mean, a fighter get hot, he'll get some good wins or a unified title, and people think that fans just now heard of this guy, or they just now. But I did my first video on Terence Crawford on my old channel, my Mr. Boxing Today channel, April 14th, 2013. So we're talking about, what, almost a little over almost 3.5 years. And that was the Breeders Prescott post-fight video. It was the first time I seen him fight. And I was impressed by his versatility. I thought he was a good mover. He could, you know, obviously switch righty to lefty, so on and so forth. So let's just fast forward to this now, okay? Then I did a Ricky Burns post-fight. Few of his post-fight videos. I like Terence Crawford. So I've been watching this kid for the last 3.5 years. Also seen a clip before that, Prescott. What made me do the Prescott post-fight was somebody sent me a link of like some highlights of this dude. And Crawford even had like the fade haircut with like the twisty braids on top. I don't know if some of you guys even know that he had braids or like little twisty. He had a different hairstyle. You know what I mean? So now let's go to this Postol fight. All right. Unification fight. There were some uploaders, fans on here saying, you know, 4, 5, 6 months ago that Crawford was ducking him. He was scared of him, so on and so forth. All right. So the fight takes place. He beats him rather easily. He has some knockdowns scored in the fight. After the first, I don't know, probably 3, 4 rounds, pretty much it was an easy fight for Crawford. He was on his feet, using good lateral movement, good hand speed. He just knew when to throw his punches. I mean, he didn't put out, you know, it wasn't a huge output of punches. All right. So now with all that said, as fans, you're going to have the style that you like. Okay. So if you like guys going there, you like infighting, and some people, they have a misconception that infighting is rock'em sock'em robot. There are some guys who are very technical infighters. Chavez, and this is my opinion, you may think differently. Chavez was a good technical infighter. Joe Frazier, to me, was more than just a brawler. To me, he can infight, make you miss, come back with his punches, catch, slip, roll, duck. All that's good infighting, in my opinion, the way I look at fights, all right? Mike Tyson, especially prime Tyson, when he was fast and had good head movement and upper body movement and moving his feet really well and changing angles, was a technician getting inside and getting his head right on your chest and breaking you down. All right. So you have fighters like that. Then you have guys who are very good with lateral movement. Guys like to pump jabs, move, so on and so forth. Then you got guys who are like boxer. You could say boxer punchers or boxer fighters. Guys that can fight and box you at the same time. Larry Holmes is one of my favorite at boxing fighting. Vander Holyfield, a guy that can box, use lateral movement, use a jab, stay on the outside, pick his spots, work everything off a jab from long range. But then if times got rough, he'll stand there and fight you. You know, if you're cutting the ring off on him or there's really nowhere for him to go, he'll fight you up off him. He ain't going to just stand there or just keep trying to move, things of that nature. So, but the thing is, the way I look at the fight game is whatever you have to do on fight night to win, you do that. If you're a versatile fighter like I think Crawford is, Do what's working for you that night. Now, some people may argue and say, yeah, but that's not going to sell you a lot of pay-per-views. People don't want to see guys get in there, move around, get on their bicycle. Fair enough. Don't order the pay-per-view. That's the only thing I could really tell you, man. But to tell this kid to go in there and go, you know, head hunting and looking for knockouts, to me, that's not a smart thing to do. Do what gets you by on fight night and look better in the next fight. You know what I mean? Live to fight another day looking better in the next fight. Now, did this performance make me jump out of my seat? Was I running around the house? Of course not. But it was easy work. He couldn't do nothing with the lateral movement. It's Postol, and like any fighter, this kind of reminded me of not exactly how the fight went down, but just the reaction from the fans. When Tua fought my man Lennox Lewis, a good heavyweight fight in my opinion, but people are like upset that like Lennox didn't just stand there and let Tua rip off left hooks on him to make it exciting for us. That's Tua's responsibility, man, to be able to get around that jab and that right hand and land his left hook. It's not Lennox Lewis's responsibility to stand there and get teed off on. You know, Postol, the footwork, Team Crawford wanted to take away his jab by moving, because they didn't have the confidence in Postol that, you know, his moving around the ring would be up to par with Crawford. They knew that he wouldn't excel like that, man. So they used what they thought they should have used to their advantage on fight night. Now, would I want to see a knockout? Of course, I love seeing knockouts. I love seeing knockouts because that way there is no going to the scorecards or, you know, some type of bullshit decision. I like for fights to come to a conclusion, man. And I'm talking about a lights out conclusion. When it happens, I'm all for it. But if it doesn't happen, then I just have to deal with, you know, the fight going to decision. Hopefully the judges get it right. You know, that's kind of tough to say when the fight's close too, but Crawford did what he had to do, man. I really don't get why people are so upset about this. Now, some people say that he could have went for the knockout. Hey, on the outside looking in, to us fans, maybe it did look like, man, he should just go in there and take the initiative and just knock Postol out. But when you're in there, maybe Crawford didn't feel as if Postol was ready to be knocked out. It wasn't like I keep using Lennox, man, because I was watching some Lennox, but it's like when Emmanuel Stewart got in Lennox's face and told him, look, man, you have a dead man in front of you. When he was talking about Mike Tyson, go in there and knock him out, because Tyson was bloody, bruised, slowed down. You can tell he was ready to go when he has a guy like Lennox Lewis in front of him. Now, maybe if he was in there with some average Joe, maybe that guy couldn't have got him out of there. But Lennox that night needed to get him out of there. You had him hurt. He's a dead man walking. Get him the fuck out of there. So I understood why Emmanuel Stewart was in his face, slapping across the chest, telling him to get him. You know, you got a dead man in front of you. That was the proper time to go for the kill. Postol, I didn't see him being that hurt. Now, he did get clipped a few times and buzzed a few times, but I didn't see him, you know, dragged out. Pretty much, if you would have went, he would have fell over and been knocked out. I didn't see that. And I think Crawford was just smart enough to kind of gauge, you know, that, this guy isn't ready to go like that, man. Let me just do what I've been doing, something he can't stop all night. He can't cut the ring off on me. Let me just continue to do this, and I'll look better in the next fight. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Now, as far as this being on pay-per-view and him being, this isn't going to help him be a pay-per-view attraction, I guess that's arguable. You know, Mayweather was able to do it by going in there and, you know, fighting in his style. And if guys couldn't stop what he was doing, then he would circle you and jab and do what he has to do. You don't have to buy the pay-per-view. That's why I understand, like, people acting like, you know, they're acting as if they're forced to buy this pay-per-view. You don't have to buy it. Just don't buy this shit. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, man. Now they about to show the second Razor Ruddock Tyson fight, but like the fight with who did he fight, man? What's the dude's name? Andre Klimov? Klimov? Is it Klimov? That guy. During that telecast, if you guys go back and watch the fight, the crowd started booing. I believe it's like the third or fourth round. Crawford was moving around. The crowd started booing him. You know, so I understand that the masses want to be entertained with guys who are just putting hands on each other, not necessarily rock'em sock'em robot, but just putting hands on each other, you know, airing it out. People just want to see that, man. And that's fine if that's what you want to see. But these fighters are going to go in there and do what they think they need to do on fight night, man. No, you know, I wouldn't suggest these fighters go on YouTube and listen to us. You know what I mean? Like, no, you go in there and do what you have to do on that fight, man, on fight night. Now, some fighters do listen to the fans and they will go in there and try to give a more exciting fight. Sometimes it'll cost them. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. It was an easy fight for me to score. I actually heard some people, or I heard some uploaders say that some other people saying that Postol won the fight. I mean, I'm not about to argue that, man. If that's what you saw, who am I to sit here and argue what you saw? I know damn well he didn't beat no damn Crawford on fight night. I don't give a damn if you don't like his style or not. He didn't beat him, man. Let's just stop the bullshit. Like I said, though, the performance didn't make me jump off my couch. You know, shit, you see how long it took me to do a post fight. I only did it because people they keep asking me in the comment section about this fight. You know what I mean? So I've been a Crawford fan since the post fight I did of him, and I did some research of him. April 2013, or early 2013, first quarter. Because like I said, somebody sent me a video before the Prescott fight. So, and I said in that video, man, he's going to be at 147 sooner or later. But as far as this fight goes, his fighting style, I'm in love with, like I said, and I'm biased towards these guys like a Thomas Hearns or a Larry Holmes or Ali, and even Ali slowed down a little bit later on in his career. His movement wasn't as fluid as far as moving around the ring. He would do it sometimes to show that he can do it, but for the most part, he'll stand in front of you and he's to fight with you, make you miss and hit you back, stuff like that. I love fights like that. I love fighters like that. I'm a sucker for boxer fighters. Guys with great jabs. Like I'm a sucker for it, man. So I'll admit that. But at the same time, though, if a guy's moving around, you can't cut the ring off on him. That's your fault, man. That's Postol's fault. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Crawford gonna say, you know what, dog? I'm gonna go ahead and just stop and not move because I want to give you a better opportunity to hit me, so the fans will think it's exciting. Or better yet, let's say me and you got into a street fight, right? And I start tagging you in your face with jabs and right hands, and I'm moving on you, you know, around the street, moving, dancing, you know what I mean? Faking you out. You slipping and sliding across the grass and fell off the curb. You can't keep up with me. After the fight, are you going to say, you know what? You did hit me a few times, bust my mouth up and shit, but, man, I whooped your ass, dog, because you was running. You're not going to say that. You gonna say I couldn't catch that motherfucker? That motherfucker was popping me in my face, man. I couldn't. He wouldn't sit still for me to hit him. Vladimir Klitschko. I mean, I can go on and on with this. Vladimir Klitschko with his jabbing and grabbing that he would do in some of his fights. People say it's boring, it's shitty, they don't like it. Okay, well, put somebody in there that can nullify all that shit and beat him. It's not Vladimir's. It's not his fault that you can't get around what he does. You don't have to like it, but what you liking and what you don't like has nothing to do with nothing. Don't watch it. I love, like me, and that's why people, you know, they say I sit on the fence. No, man, because I can appreciate every style of boxing. The guys like to come in there and get it over with in a round or two. I appreciate that for what they do. If you're a guy who likes to use lateral movement, jab, make you miss, use defense, counterpunching, I appreciate you for what you do. It's your opponent's responsibility to sully all that and whoop your ass. It's not your responsibility to sit down and make it easier for him. That's bullshit, man. Just my opinion on all this. You know, I'm sure some of you guys will disagree, and that's fine. You know, I don't make videos for people to agree with me. You know what I mean? But it's just my opinion, man. I'm out.